being placed in this like sorority fraternity house is a little bit of a shock. And then it instantly hit me that I was living with 7 other people. So I was completely alone. And I was literally, Nick would leave, I would wake up, could not work because I was waiting for my verblijfsvergunning, like a misery bubble where I was like, oh my god, I just want to change this situation by leaving. I want to leave, I want to leave, I want to leave, I want to leave. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joey, and in today's video, I am going to be sharing my opinion on what it was like to live in Breda. Now, before we get this video started, of course, I'm going to ask you to please hit that subscribe button. Habanero, subscribe. Why? You're probably wondering, why is he asking us to subscribe? Because I have a goal of 10K by the end of summer. It would be amazing if it could be by the beginning of summer, but I can settle for the end of summer. And I'm about to hit 7K, so if you could just help me out, that would be amazing. So let's just get started and let me share with you my thoughts on what it was like to live in Breda. Now, first thing that you do have to keep in mind is that I came from New York City, a population of about 9 million people, to Breda, which has a population of 180,000 woners, okay? So I came from a city of 9 million people, hustling and bustling in restaurants, and it never closes, the city that never sleeps, which I absolutely loved. I'm a complete city person, to Breda, which was the city of about 180,000 people. So, you know, when I first came to Breda, my boyfriend was living there because he was studying there at Avans, and I was coming to visit him from New York because we were long distance for about a year and a half. So naturally, I was flying into Amsterdam, but I was going to his house in Breda and staying there, and this was happening about once every 4 or 5 weeks. And I, of course, liked Breda. It felt nice. I was like, you know what? This is a really quaint little European city. But to me, it felt like really, it still does, like a town. And I was like, you know what? I think I could live here. Of course, when I spoke to Nick, I was like, listen, I want to move to the Netherlands, of course, but I don't necessarily want to live in Breda. Now, I understand that I cannot just move to the Netherlands and then instantly move to Amsterdam with you as well because of the implications. So why don't we first move to Breda, but then do everything that we can to move to Amsterdam? So when I moved to the Netherlands, that was the plan. I was moving to Breda as my gateway city to Amsterdam. So when I first moved to Breda, I packed all my bags, of course, I flew over, I was so excited, and Nick lived in a student home. Now, listen, I have nothing against student homes, they are really fun, and if you're a student, I assume that you're having the time of your life. But if you are 25 or 24 years old, and you're finished with university, you're kind of done with that era, being placed in this like sorority fraternity house is a little bit of a shock. So I first moved and I loved it, and then it instantly hit me that I was living with 7 other people in a house, and they were students, and they were there to have a fun time as I would, you know, no judgment. But I was at a different stage, at a different moment, and it was a struggle for me to be able to live my life the way I felt it and I wanted it in New York and then bring it here. I couldn't live the same life, and I think that is a shock that I had to really understand, because then it made me feel like I didn't like Breda. And I don't mean any offense with that. I think Breda is a gorgeous little city, but I just wasn't connecting with it at all, and I was having a really, really tough time with it. You know, when you are used to the city that never sleeps, and you're used to having your apartment that is always very clean, and you know, there's not so much going on, and you can have your alone time, but you can also talk to your roommate, which I had a fabulous roommate, but he was also like me, had graduated university, so had his life going on, and was also, you know, needed his alone time and also wanted to chit chat, to coming to a house of like 7 people. They're students, they're interacting, it's really, really fun for them, they're drinking, they're partying, and me, it was so out of place. And I think it was vice versa. I think they also felt maybe like it was out of place that I was there, because to be honest, I was not the funnest person in that house. I was like sticking in my room. I had my computer and I was watching my American shows. Nick was working 9 to 5, so I was completely alone. And I was literally, Nick would leave, I would wake up, and I, of course, could not work because I was waiting for my verblijfsvergunning, so I had no work permits. So my day was literally wake up at like 9 or 10, I would shower and get ready for nothing, and then I would either choose to stay home and watch my American TV shows or to go to the city center. Now, during the day, the house was pretty empty because, of course, they're students, so they're gone or they're working. So it was usually me and somebody else, and they were studying, so I never felt comfortable to go downstairs or to, you know what I mean? So I was always like, okay, do I go to the city center again for like the 20th time by myself, or do I stay home and watch my American TV shows? This literally happened for 3 months. So if you can put yourself in my shoes, I think you would also be like, whoa, this is really difficult. After about like 1 month, I was like, okay, I need to do something, because to be honest with you, I was miserable. Nick would come home at like 5 o'clock and everything is closed. All the shops are closed at like 6, I think, 5 or 6. So it's not like him and I could go gezellig to the city center. So it was like I was having a disconnect with the city. And again, I don't think that it was the city itself, although I do think that it's 50% the city, because of course of the time that everything closes and the small, it's just very small. You can walk the whole thing in like a day. So it's hard when you're like have nothing to do and then you have to go there like every day. There's not much exploring that you can do. So we got a pate card to go and watch movies. So I just started going to the movies by myself and watching all the new movies. And we also got an abonnement to the gym. So I would go to the gym sometimes to take some classes, and they had a nice sauna. And so I would do that from time to time. So that really helped. And listen, again, I don't want to sound like a negative Nancy, because I'm sure that the people who live in Breda love it. Nick loved it. I just don't. I'm a big city person, and this is not a big city. So if I had to say, would I ever go back to live in Breda, the answer would be a really firm no, I would not. Although I have learned to never say never, because I always thought that I was gonna stay in New York forever, and look at me, here I am in Amsterdam, you know? So never say never. Maybe one day I'm like possessed and I love small cities, and then I will move to Breda happily. In fact, I was just there visiting it, and it was so beautiful. I was like, wow, this is really, really cute. And I know that the Dutch people call it the Pearl of the South, and I absolutely understand why, because it's so gorgeous. But I did not love it, and I would not live there. What I did love about Breda, I did love the sense of like youthfulness. It was very young, you know. Breda is like a student city, so it was nice to always have young people around. That's also a plus, and that's also a minus, because they're very young. It's like young. Like for me as a 27-year-old now, it's like being with 18, 19-year-olds. There's a disconnect, you know, and a cultural disconnect. So that was a plus and a minus. They had really good restaurants, that I remember, really lekker. So that I have no complaints about. But it was just that there was nothing to do for me. Of course, once I started my Dutch lessons and I met my beautiful friend Amelia, who is also an expat and living in Breda, I got a little closer to her and we were able to have coffees, and that was so nice. And one thing I regret is not having more time with her. I should have just like called her every day and like met up with her every day, because I was stuck in like a misery bubble where I was like, oh my god, I want to change this situation by leaving. I want to leave, I want to leave, I want to leave, I want to leave. And I regret that because I did not fully extend my roots there. Yes, I was gonna leave, but I should have just enjoyed it a little bit more and like let go of trying to live in the future, which is what I was doing. And I really regret that now. So I think if I have any advice for you who feel like you're living in a place where you maybe don't want to be, you're there now. So make the best out of it. Make it happen. Interact with the people around you. You know, who cares? And that's the advice that I think I really learned from it, and I'm so grateful that I went through that. And I firmly believe that it's only when we go through the uncomfortable moments in life that we become more understanding of who we are and how we can better live. So that was really helpful for me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you are from Breda, I love you. Thank you so much for subscribing. And I, of course, mean no offense in this video. Your city is gorgeous. Enjoy it. Live it up. And yeah, comment below on your thoughts about this. And let me know what it would feel like for you to be taken to a city that is completely the opposite of where you're at. And tell me how you would deal with it. That's what I want to know in the comments below. I will see you guys next time. Bye!